Well, hello everybody, welcome back. We're down in the dungeon today, which is unusually bright because I'm standing right underneath the 17-watt LED because I just noticed something that I want to show you right away, so let's get started. Okay, so underneath this little humidome I have the Naga Viper seeds that Punky sent me from a pepper she got from Dave. If it was in a mixed box, it was probably grown in a variety kind of situation, so we may have a freak in here, but that is definitely a pepper seed already up and sprouting. And actually, it looks like I might have missed another one there already. So, that is stellar. Now, it almost looks like there's a crease in the middle of that. Camera's not going to focus on it, of course. Come on. It is so time to upgrade this camera. Anyway, it almost looks like there's a crease in the middle of that. I'm sorry that I won't focus for you. So I'm wondering if maybe that is a tomato seed that somehow made it through my screening process. But we'll see, we'll see. Very excited though. I hope it's a Naga Viper seed because that would be great. While we're still on the shelf, we've got spider plants everywhere, mint everywhere because you can't really have too much mint. A little lemon tree, we've got the new growth here. Seems to be doing quite well. Some new growth here. I'm not sure that it's happiest under these lights. I mean, it is doing well and clearly growing, but I'm going to move it around. We'll see if we can find a better reaction. Something more like we're getting out of the pitcher plant here. It clearly loves these lights. This is the happiest I have ever seen this plant. It didn't even have this many pictures on it when we brought it home, I don't think. This massive green growth, so dark, so vibrant, and I mean, look at the size of that thing. That is not small. We got another one happily forming here. That is fantastic. And while we're looking at this, it looks like the pepperface peperomia stopped there as far as its dieback. We might see some life out of that. It would be really nice. Rather enjoyed having that plant around. The main thing that brings us down here though is I was asked to update the clones. I thought I had already done this, but you know, there's a very good chance that I haven't. Everything that went into the soil, these things died off so fast, not cool at all. What we had over here in the stein, you can see like one that's still got a few leaves on it. Otherwise, everything there is pretty much toast. It almost looks like that willow is trying to sprout though, so that's kind of interesting. Back over the light we come to the ones in the solo cup, the party cup. These are still keeping their little green leaves somehow. I have changed this water out a couple of times and I still don't see any roots, but I am hopeful because they still have their leaves, so that would be super cool. I don't really care what kind of pepper it is. I just want to be able to root a pepper cutting like all the cool kids. You know, it's ridiculous at this point. Pepper seeds. We've got our compost surprise pepper seeds. We've got some more coming up here, so that's going to be fun. Looks like another one poking up there. These ones are getting sturdier. We've got one falling. No big deal with these numbers and the fact that they're all random. I don't really care that much. We got a dead one here, so we'll take that out of the group. Off to the side with you. This one looks like the twofer is now a single. That's fine. Look at that. There's true leaf starting out in the middle of that one already. There's true leaf starting off in a couple of them. I don't think the camera is going to pick them up as well as my naked eye is doing, but when we check back on these in a week or two, that should be exciting. Which is great because that's not. I tried to keep it moist enough that the seeds would germinate and it gets to be mossy. I try and keep it dry enough that it doesn't get mossy, you know, and nothing happens. I'm having issues with sprouting pepper seeds. I just don't know. And this is part of why I wanted to get one of those little AeroGrowers, the AeroGarden things, because they're supposed to be good for sprouting seeds. For sprouting difficult seeds at that. And while these seeds are not difficult for most people, they seem to be a bit of a trick for me. So if I could get one of those gardens, you know, even, like I say, I'm willing to pay the $70 Canadian for it, which is still feeling a little bit gouged, but I'm willing to pay it anyway, okay? Because I have lost more than $70 in seeds. I'm not willing to pay the $130 that they're asking for it, so I still haven't gotten it yet, obviously, but jeepers, does it ever get my attention when I see those ads, because I'm always looking at it, so of course I'm always seeing ads for it. Anyway, Aquaponics. Look at that sage. Oh, that beautiful sage, doing so well. A well-established sage usually does pretty well in aquaponic gardens in my experience, and considering I think of sage as kind of a priceless opportunity, just burning it in the house for smudging, you know, to me makes it ever so much more valuable as a homegrown thing. I'm growing it with the intention of burning it. It's complicated, but those who understand do. Anyway, we're gonna move on. We got these rosemary cuttings that I shoved in there that, you know what, they're looking surprisingly healthy. These are staying healthy looking longer than the other cloning attempts did, so that's good. We got the oregano in the back here, clearly trucking right along, growing up a little bit more every time we look at it, so that is fantastic. That little mint cutting doing just fine. What a surprise. That little mint cutting, I'm gonna say it's doing fine. I'm trying to get the hens as interested in fresh mint as I can, because I got plenty of it to feed them, and I can keep them in greens all winter that way. So more mint cuttings there, because I figure, you know, if it's gonna grow, let it grow. And the back row is a little harder for me to get to anyway, because of the foolish location that I put this garden in. Like, let me step back here. Don't want to step into the sump well though, right? It's kind of in the corner. I can get around it back there, but it's awkward. I need to move this whole assembly out, but the reason I put it there is because there was this 2-pallet setup already in the corner with the plywood on it. I looked at it and went, you know what, it's going to fit perfectly on there. Excellent, it's up off the ground. Cool drafts can flow underneath it. So, in theory, that's all well and good, right? Except the back of it is up against the wall, so there's no airflow. So that's actually a really bunk plan. There's no viable reason at all to have it there. And like I said, moving around this thing has become a real pain, so I really do need to move it, but I need Fuzzy to be here so I can just get it done half an hour quick and easy. When the pump is off, the fish won't really even notice, right? Speaking of the fish, time to take out their salad bar so I can get a decent fish cam video. They're getting less and less pellets every week though. I'm still seeing very strong color indications. I don't see any signs of them getting sick in any way, so that is absolutely fantastic. Still just blown away by how dark those 2 black ones are. You can only really see them when they swim over other fish. We see a lot of mint in the top here, and somehow there is a pepper. I guess these fell off when I was shaking aphids off of the, I'm going to say the paper lantern. There's another one in the back corner there. Ugh. Somehow I'm not surprised the fish didn't eat those. But anyway, let's look at the poor paper lantern pepper, which is kind of in seclusion. Yes, aphids can get around, but if it's over here, I remember to shake it off more often. We can't really see it because it's, there we go. If I block the light a little bit, it is doing okay though, and we are getting some color on some of those pods that remain. We've got good strong leaves growing up. After all of the die-off, I was a little concerned, but it looks like it's prepared to at least stick around for the fight, so that is fantastic. Never did see one of these go red. They all seem to be stopping at orange, but I'm going to let it hang, see what it does, because, well, why not, you know? If it's going to live, I want to see what it can do for me. Got carrot tops drying all over the place down here. Step forward. The Nepalese bell. You know, good example of just how well things seem to be adjusting this year. Oh, if it really is just a matter of I wasn't giving things enough drainage and I was over-fertilizing, so of course everything I brought in for the winter died, then sure, you know, I feel really foolish, but at the same time, I'm really glad that this has come to my attention, because so far, I still have everybody I started with We have leaves growing in that are good to go for the fluorescent light. And the sand dollar is throwing off flowers left, right, and center. Let's give her a good shake. See if they stay. Most of those flowers are staying on. And that would have undoubtedly just pollinated a few of them, so great. The only plant that really seems to have an issue with this current setup is the mint. Doesn't seem to like being that far away from the light. We can see it's really stretching. So I might need to clean off the shelf here. I knew I had egg cartons somewhere. I'll be taking those upstairs with me. While we're looking at the shelf, the houseplants are of course doing fine. That black lace elderberry cutting has just become a houseplant. You know, it's been 3 years and it's still sitting in that same little planter. Dieffenbachia, our little bent weirdo Dieffenbachia, doing great. We've got some new growth coming up in the middle there. Can you see that? Coming out of the center of the pot. That's fabulous. Little shelf of spider plants doing well. The Ahi Guyana seems to be doing well. And then the matchbox over there. So far this one seems to be the least happy to be inside. It's been dealing with a lot of pods though, so I'm hoping as I get more and more of these off, it'll have an opportunity to put on some new leaves, because I mean that's a new leaf in there, that's a new leaf in there, so it's not dead yet, but it looks like it's really thinking about it, and that makes me nervous. But for the most part, everything else kind of trucking along. I mean, I guess this red demon is kind of a very questionable one, but look at that, right? That's curled up. Oh, and I flicked it off. So I mean, I don't know what's going on with that one, but still putting color on them one at a time. So I'll wait. That yellow scorpion's just killing me though. Weeds are growing faster than the pepper plant is. But I mean, that pepper plant, by rights, should have died last winter. I'm not complaining. I just don't understand. More sage. This thing, I love that plant. So sturdy. Oh, hey, beside that plant we have the I'm in No Rush Red. And I'm not even going to guess if that's ripe yet, because that's, you know, yellow and then orange. I'm not sure if my camera's showing that very well or not, but I'm guessing a Sugar Rush Red should go like a red. You know, like you expect to see on a 64.5 Mustang convertible, kind of candy apple red. Is that what I'm looking for with this? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Moving along, we have one of the Ahi Pennock variants. This is the one that had the little cucumber bumps on it. Seems to be pretty much ripe, not quite there yet, so we'll give it some more time. But so far, here's the other Ahi Pennock. So far, things are doing really well, so thank you all for the hopes and prayers that are undoubtedly going along with all of this. And as I've said so many times, thank you all for the advice that you have shared with me over the years to help me get to a point where this is now possible, because this is all because of your awesomeness. So, yeah, very cool. Well, I think a couple of those El Oro de Ecuador peppers are coming upstairs for dinner tonight. And I also think that's pretty much where we're going to wrap it up today. Tomorrow is a whole new day. I have no idea what we're going to explore, but I will try and get something up because, well, I'm trying to do this daily thing, right? Is it Monday? If it ain't Monday, there should be a video. That's the plan. So I will, in theory, see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody.